to the, whoa. Good morning. We're going to say hello to the 3 people who are watching our dress rehearsal of our live streaming today. So you may have noticed there's no longer a video camera in the sanctuary. Take a look over there. We are working the live streaming. So very exciting, very, very exciting. Yeah. This is our year of manifestation, folks, and we are manifesting. Good morning. Welcome to Unity San Francisco. It is my joy to be here with all of you this morning. So, Unity San Francisco is a community that is anchored in love, that is grounded in the awareness that there truly is only one thing happening, and that is love. And that we get to show up as it, we get to be it, and we get to express it always more fully and more powerfully. So thank you for joining us this morning. I'm Reverend Deanne Morency. I'm the Associate Minister here. And it is my joy, truly my joy, to be able to say that our Senior Minister, Reverend Ken Daigle, is with us this day. And you will hear more about his journey. He's going to be doing the talk today, so you'll hear more about where he's been and what's alive for him later on during service. So whatever it took for you to get here today, thank you. Thank you. And this is our moment in our service where we allow ourselves to really become present to being here in this space. So I'd like to invite the prayer chaplains to rise and encircle the community in that magnificent field of prayer that is so integral to who we are, the affirmative prayer field here at Unity San Francisco. And I'm going to invite Misa to come on up. And the invitation is to allow this song, this message, this truth to become alive in you. So literally letting go of whatever it is you brought in this morning. Literally allowing yourself to be here now as we let these words wash over us.
I am light, I am light. I am light, I am light. I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I am light. I am light. I am light. Divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star shining with peace over it all. I am light. 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 You are light. You are light. We are light. We are light.
And so it is from this space, this place of deep awareness of the truth of who and what we are, the very light of that living love, So in this moment, we just allow ourselves to open to that truth more deeply, more powerfully. We set aside in this moment consciously anything that does not feel in alignment with that truth. We allow it to be anointed. We allow the light that we are to touch, to heal, to soothe those raw spaces and places. Remembering to remember, I am light. I am light. We are light. And so it is. Amen. Ashe.
Good morning, everyone. For those of you that don't know me, my name is Robert Kane. I'm a senior prayer chaplain here. And I just want to share with you a couple of things going on in Unity San Francisco, and I want to start off with our core value. This is something we come from in everything we're doing. And the core value we're going to talk about today is love. God is love, not a power out there, not a little man waiting to hit you with a lightning bolt. God is love. And we consciously choose love in every situation. So that means if the situation's pleasant, if it's unpleasant, if it freaks you out, this is a practice to approach the world with. And this is one of the many things our community is about. So I'd like you to repeat this with me and really own it as your core value. Love. God is love. We consciously choose love in every situation, and so it is. So we've got a lot of great ways for you to be involved with our community and to learn and to grow. We have Voices of Unity Radio, which has been a 6-part series with our own Reverend Ken Nagel. And this is with Reverend Ellen Davenport. It's an online radio show, so all you need is an internet connection, and you can hear this. Tuesdays, 9 o'clock to 10 a.m., and this is a call-in show. So Reverend Ken's going to be talking about the placebo effect, which for those of you that don't know, well, you're going to find out. But basically, it's how you can use the power of your thoughts and your beliefs and your feelings to heal. And if you have questions, if something Reverend Ken is saying or Reverend Davenport is saying just kind of sparks you, call in. The interaction between the radio people and the presenters is what makes this thing juicy and spicy. So this Tuesday, check it out. Potluck Sunday, save the date. Sunday, September 30th after service. This has been one of the great ways that we get to come together as community. So bring a dish so that we can share, we can eat a little bit together. And we've got Ryan Nelson cooking up the playlist. This is going to be Motown. So get ready to dance. This will be fun. Annual fundraiser. We're shaking it up a little bit, and we're changing the holiday gala from Christmas time and holiday time in December to a harvest jamboree. We want to get more people involved. We're making it daytime, so it's Saturday, November 3rd from 12 to 4. Bring yourselves, bring friends, bring your families. It's early, so you can bring kids. You don't have to worry about keeping them up all night. But we're going to have an auction. We'll have food. What am I seeing? Line dancing with lessons. Oh my gosh, that sounds awesome. So also, if you have something that you'd like to auction as a way to help Unity raise some funds, please see Carol, and we can make that happen as well. Sacred Service team training and emergency preparedness. If you're serving here in any capacity, PowerPoint, ushers, greeters, whatever you're doing here, this is a chance to get some training, to get some clarity on how you could show up in the best way, not only to serve Unity San Francisco, but in a way that feeds you. Because service is not just about the person you're serving, it's about a symbiotic relationship, right? You should be fed through your service so that the giving comes naturally. And that's part of what the training is about. There's going to be lunch. And we're also going to be doing emergency preparedness. We're not going to go into all the crazy stuff about it, but just enough so that if somebody takes ill or something's happening and we need to react, there's a core group of us that are aware and ready to lead everybody else. This is a better way for us to take care of our community. So that's Saturday, November 17th. Spiritual connection card. Can I borrow yours, Deanne? Thank you. So if you go to the back of your bulletin, there's a little flap card you can tear out. And I invite you all now to take it out and put your name on it. If we don't have your contact information, please fill it out. And also let us know if you are a member or a first-time guest or how you found out about Unity San Francisco if you are new here. We're going to use these later on in the service to do a spiritual practice. So everybody fill them out because we all want to do the spiritual practice together. It's much more powerful when we do that as a community than if we just do that on our own. And if you are a first-time guest, special welcome. Thank you for joining us. We do have a free gift for you out in the lobby. You can take it out. It's just on the front table. And if you do have any questions, please feel free to see Reverend Deanne, Reverend Ken, myself, or anybody here. We're happy to answer your questions about Unity San Francisco. And I'd like to invite you all to rise as you're willing and able and join us with our first community song.
We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the love wash over us. We let it be. We let the joy. We let the joy watch over us. We let it be. We let the joy. We let the joy wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the peace wash over us. We let it be. We let the faith wash over us. We let it be. We let the faith wash over us. We let it be.
Oh, so it's time for our meet and greet. I invite you to greet your neighbor with a handshake or a hug. Hey, darling, how are you? You too. Hey, sweetie. So good to see you. I'm coming through. Hi, welcome. So glad to have you here. I know. Hot. Jose. I'm hot. So there'll be lots of time and hospitality for people to continue to connect. All the kibitzing, I love it. Oh, so how many people were here Wednesday night for our World Day of Prayer service? Can we just give the prayer chaplain some love? They did an incredible service, and they kicked off our Wednesday night series. So we're going to have Wednesday night services going forward. But to celebrate the prayer chaplains, I wanted to reveal Unity San Francisco Prayer Chaplain's mission statement. Through the power of affirmative prayer, we embrace, anchor, and make known divine truth as it manifests in ourselves, Unity San Francisco, and the world. So we went through a whole, inquiry process and visioning on it. So can we all say that together as we anchor it for the first time in the larger community? Through the power of affirmative prayer, we embrace, anchor, and make known divine truth as it manifests in ourselves, Unity San Francisco, and the world. Woohoo! Yeah. Oh, I had somebody say to me, we have 16 prayer chaplains right now. And several people have already approached me and said, next year I'm in. And somebody said to me, what happens if the entire community is a prayer chaplain? And I said, that is my goal. That is my personal intention. That every single one of you is a prayer chaplain. So we did launch our Wednesday night series. It was incredible. This Wednesday, so every Wednesday, the first Wednesday of every month will be the Om Hour. The second Wednesday of every month will be Collective Wisdom. The third Wednesday of every month, which is what's coming up next week, is going to be Reverend Elizabeth doing her Meditation and Healing Circle. And the fourth Wednesday of every month is going to be Reverend Ken with his Spiritual Salon. So there's a little bit of difference each Wednesday so that you can get your flavor on, you can get the thing that, speaks to you. So come check them all out and then sort of, figure out what you like. We're piloting this to try to figure out what's serving the community, right? What's really going to serve the community. So it's every Wednesday at 7 p.m. And I am now going to invite up Dave Cooperberg, Senior Prayer Chaplain, for the Absolute Word.
It's now time for the absolute word, a time to let these words of truth become part of your morning reflection. The absolute word is written by Reverend Paul Hasselback. It's an affirmation of the divine truth that is always present. It is an opportunity to anchor our awareness, to know that everything is in divine order. So now I invite you to take a slow, deep breath and pause in the silence. Close your eyes if you wish. I invite you to let these words become your words. Wholeness is my true nature. I am vibrant and strong. My spiritual identity is the source and catalyst for my healing. As I turn to this inner presence to reaffirm my wholeness, I find what I've been seeking is already present within me. I relax into this place of love and light, and I rediscover everything I need for healing. Life, wholeness, and health are fundamental aspects of my true nature. At the core of my being is eternal truth. Wholeness is my natural state. I am unlimited spiritual life and power. When I tap into my divine essence, I feel energized and revitalized. Reestablishing wholeness in the outer realm begins with an inner realization of life, health, and wholeness. It is a satisfactory journey into the truth of what I am. Wholeness is my true nature. I am vibrant and strong. Know this with me? Wholeness is my true nature. I am vibrant and strong. And so it is.
There's too many things I haven't done yet. There's too many sunsets I haven't seen. You can't waste the day wishing it slowed down. You would have thought by now I'd have learned something. I made up my mind when I was a young girl. I've been given this one world. I won't worry it away. But now and again I lose sight of the good life. I get stuck in a low light. But then love comes in. How far do I have to go to get to you? Many the miles, many the miles. Oh, how far do I have to go to get to you? Many the miles, but send me the miles, and I'll be happy to. I'll follow you, love. I do what I can wherever I end up to keep giving my good love and spreading it around, yeah, yeah, yeah. 'Cause I've had my fair share of take care and goodbyes, and I've learned how to cry. And I'm better for that. Sing, how far do I have to go to get to you? Many the miles, many the miles. Oh, how far do I have to go to get to you? Many the miles, ooh, but send me the miles, and I'll be happy to. Follow you. Red letter day and I'm in a blue mood, wishing that blue would just carry me away. I've been talking to God, I don't know if it's helping or not, but surely something has got to give, 'cause I can't keep waiting to live. Sing, how far do I have to go to get to you? Many the miles, many the miles. Oh, how far do I have to go go to get to you. Many the miles, ooh, but send me the miles, and I'll be happy to, yeah. I'll follow you.
Jennifer Morrison. Woo! Thank you, Jennifer and Misa. Back up on that. Hi, everybody. Thank you. Thank you. It feels good to be home. It feels good to be in this space. I can't tell you how relaxing and affirming just being here this morning with you all, listening to Misa and Jennifer sing, and the prayers and the prayer chaplains and the hugs. And the hugs. And I've needed all of it today. And I've taken it with me on my journey, and I have felt it thousands of miles away. And sometimes, like the song says, when you don't know if it's doing any good, it's the practice, it's the practice, it's the practice that makes you know it is. That lets you stand in the midst of the pain and the fear and the suffering and the joy and be whole. Be wholehearted. To bring your entire presence to those moments and watch as those moments unfold, knowing that God is at work. Yeah, the talk today is the Gifts of Imperfection, and those of you who have been following me on Unity Online Radio know that I started out with this idea of this series. This idea of what we were going to talk about is how science and spirituality meet in the middle. And second week into the series, I wrote the host of the show and gave her a synopsis of what has just transpired in my life from one day to the next. And she wrote back, wow, I don't know what to say. Congratulations, or I'm sorry. And that summed it up so incredibly well, because both were true, and both are continuing to be true today. What the series has been talking about is how science, both social science and psychology and physical science, interact with our faith practice. And what I've got to do for the last 3 weeks or 4 weeks in this journey is put that to the test and to share it in real time with all of you. The work we're talking about right now is the work of Brené Brown. Those of you may know her from her books or her work with Oprah and other people, but she talks about the gifts of imperfection, that when we allow ourselves to be vulnerable, how things shift. And in the book, she writes, only when we are brave enough to explore the darkness will we discover the infinite power of our light. Right? Only when we're brave enough to be excruciatingly vulnerable can we really be whole. Because we're not human beings having a spiritual experience. We're not human beings who decide to go to prayer and, okay, I'm going to connect to my spiritual nature. I believe, we teach, we hold that we are spiritual beings. first and foremost, that we existed before this incarnation and we will exist after this physical body in a never-ending infinite line. But that we're here in this body, in this definition, allows us to have another layer of experience that is equally rich, incredibly tender, and profoundly intimate. If we say yes to it, if we say, I am willing to experience this and I am willing to feel it. 3 weeks ago, after I was with you for the prayer chaplains, I got a call on a Wednesday afternoon here in the office, and by 11 o'clock that night I was on a red-eye flight. The next day I was in the hospital room where the NICU team had come before and told us what was about to happen, which we weren't aware of, the challenges in our son's life. But the next day he was born on Thursday afternoon, the 23rd. So JD and I and Roma and Tobias, our oldest son, and Roma all arrived at 5:30 in the morning in Tennessee and went straight to the hospital and went to the delivery room. Tobias and Roma weren't in the delivery room, to be clear. Yeah. But JD and I were, and it was beautiful, and it was frightening, and it was terrifying because we were having to absorb what was about to come and what the doctors were telling us we were going to face when we came out. And in the moment of birth, I watched and witnessed as Joshua was born and immediately rushed to the NICU table, which was also in the room, and a team of 20 medical professionals, doctors, and all were working on him. And all mine was to do was to hold space. It was very different than the birth I witnessed with Roma, where I got to hold her immediately. And this was about saving Joshua's life. And all I could do with tears streaming down my face and a smile because of the joy of this life was to stand there and know that God was in the midst of it all. And that the only thing and the most important thing I could do was to share that awareness and love with the whole room. And miracles happened. And he was taken care of and stabilized and whisked from the delivery room to the NICU unit at the hospital. And because of an infection that he got and because of some physical difficulties in his breathing structure in his mouth, this is Joshua on day 1. And he's 5 pounds, 3 ounces at this point, and he's on a ventilator and on an IV and monitors and fighting. And beautiful and whole and complete. So I would stand over him and touch him. We weren't able to hold him yet, and that was the hardest part for me as a parent, not being able to hold my child for over a week. But I could sing to him, I could talk to him, and I would say, "You are God's perfect child. We love you exactly the way you are." That there was no imperfection. What some people might call a disability or an abnormality or a birth defect or an illness, I got to reframe as wholeness, as completeness, as beauty, as love. That was my little boy. And on that Saturday, his birth mother signed all the papers, and JD and I became his guardians, his power of attorney, and his parents officially. And it was and is beautiful. Then for the next 2 weeks, I watched as he continued to improve and got off the ventilator and made great strides, and they dealt with the infection he had picked up and were able to treat him, and it shifted from, he had an E. coli infection from the intubation, and once they were able to identify it and treat it, he got substantially better, and We give thanks for miracles and the prayer, and the medical team and the medicine are as much of the hands and the voice and the instrument of God as our prayers and our touch are. Hallelujah for them. I am so grateful for the doctors and the staff and the amazing technology that saved my son's life. And then came last Monday, barely a week ago. Actually, I'll back up. The Thursday before. The Thursday before that, so a Thursday a week ago, this was Joshua. He had come off the ventilator, and he was wide-eyed and looking at me. And it's a feeding tube, because of his mouth, he can't suckle a bottle, so he has to be fed through a feeding tube. And the thing you see in his nose is called a nasal trumpet, and it's to keep his airway open so he can breathe. He hates it. And at any opportunity, he will rip it out, which is a good sign. And this is a day where I just got to be in face-to-face, eye-to-eye contact with him and loving every minute of it. But in this period, he continued to lose weight. And even though we were feeding him and trying to find the right adjustment of his foods, he went from 5 pounds, 3 ounces to 4 pounds, 1 ounce. Yeah, and I started to panic. I started to worry because I never saw those eyes again. That day, that was a Thursday, a little over a week ago. And by Monday, he wasn't opening his eyes anymore. And I was scared. And the nurses and the doctors and everyone could see how the fear had overtaken me. Right? The pain that he knew he was in and the struggle he was in, I internalized. And what had shifted for me from this picture to the moment of his birth was that I was now doing. I was a human doing. Right? I was changing his diapers. I was holding him now. I was advocating for him with the doctors and the nurses. I was there at every transfer to make sure that the protocols were being followed and asking the right questions so that things would happen. So I was very much in my beingness doing things for my son. And when that didn't appear to be working, as a parent, I got scared. And the nurse, the doctor actually, who came around to rounds that Monday, came and said, well, what can we do for you? What can we do? And I said, well, get the ENT, the ear, nose, and throat doctors here, because we had been waiting and waiting and waiting. And she said, I got it. And I posted on Facebook this picture with some verbiage that said, I see the wholeness, I see the beauty, and I feel the despair. I am torn. And I shared that with the staff. I shared that publicly, and I shared it on the radio show the next day. But what happened was miraculous. When I was able to be, when I call excruciatingly vulnerable, to let everyone know that I was scared, that I didn't know, and I was panicked about it, the world opened up to me. And Pima Chodron said it this way, only when we can know our own darkness well can we be present for the darkness in others. Compassion becomes real when we recognized our shared humanity. So that afternoon, as I'm holding Joshua in my arms, the ENT staff comes over, and they give me a full debrief about all the surgeries and the procedures and what has to happen and how they're going to treat him. And at the end, this amazing doctor said to me, you know, we think he's doing great. We think he's doing fine. And we just need you to know that we've got it. And I could feel the terror start to fade from my body. And my nurse, who had been there, so for those of you who are nurses, you know, you work 12-hour shifts in those kind of situations. My nurse, who had been there all morning and could see the look on my face, just kept being with me and kept saying, what can I do for you? What can I do for you? And after the doctors and the nurses left, she came in and she says, I want you to know something. Because they told the doctors how scared I was that he wasn't opening his eyes. She says, see this? When he pulls his arms together like that, that means that both sides of his brain are working. That he's able to bring his arms together means he's healthy. He just needs all of his attention and all of his energy on maintaining his body temperature and breathing. That's his job right now. And you don't need to worry. Then she proceeds to tell me that she had a baby in the NICU and that she knows what it's like to go through that. And I asked, well, what happened? And she says, I lost him. She says, but that's why I do what I do. And this angel of a nurse stood with me and held my hand and let me know that my son was okay and that she had it. She had him. And that if I needed to go home and rest, that it was okay. I breathed into my vulnerability. I breathed into that, being able to be honest and real and know the truth simultaneously. And as I was about to leave, the curtain pulls back in our NICU unit, and in walks these two women and said, hi, we're the chaplains here at the hospital. And I said, come in, sit down, get a chair. And in that moment, I had this incredible conversation with a Methodist minister who described herself as spiritual but not religious. Said, we're going to get along great. And a woman Baptist minister. And I said, I've never met one of you before. I really want to know more. In Tennessee, in Nashville, Tennessee. And so blow out my stereotypes, right? Phew, okay. I can be wrong, and I frequently am. And we sat down, and the three of us talked, and I let them minister to me. I let them be my support system. And then they started asking me about unity and how we hold it. And I talked to them about both, that I'm holding that he is whole and perfect and complete, and the truth of his physical needs. And we walked over as they left, and we all held Joshua, who was back in his crib, and we all prayed. And we prayed affirmatively about the journey that he and I am on. He is my teacher. He is my champion. He is amazing. Amazing. So after that journey, I shared next day on the radio how to hold this. And people wrote on my Facebook page, and people called into the show, and we were able to talk about how we hold both at the same time. How do we all, I know I'm not alone, this is just an example of what we all go through. How many of you are dealing with that in someone you love who's facing a health challenge? Someone you love who isn't showing up as you know they can because of some psychological, physical, or emotional disturbance in their life. And we get to hold the truth that is painful and hard. And when we are able to say, this is hard, I need help. I need help. The angels of the universe and those of us in this spiritual community, in this spiritual practice, are right there by our side. And they show up in Baptist ministers, and they show up in the nurse, and they show up in the love and the support that I have from you, people who know me. But it shows up from people who don't know me from Adam. The doctor, the ENT doctor, said, when this is all over, I want to talk to you because my two roommates in Atlanta, where I went to school at Emory in Atlanta, are trying to adopt, and they want to know your journey. They're two guys, and they want to adopt. And I said, well, we can tell them a lot of stories. We've done it all. Foster care, private adoption, and now this, now open adoption. And it's all been part of my spiritual practice. Being steeped in prayer and meditation and in our teachings, allowed me at that moment when I needed it most to pull from a vast wellspring. Right? It was beautiful, it was hard, it was difficult the first day. But it's not the first day that usually gets us. It's the 20th day. It's the 25th day. It's the 2 months of the same situation. And that's when we have to open up and ask for help, to be vulnerable, to be who we really are. The gift that came later in this week was that, one more. So Brene Brown talks about wholehearted people this way, and I think it describes each and every one of you, those on you on live stream as well, and each and every one of you in this room. People who are wholehearted, she says, get real. When things get tough, when things don't go well, when there's a crisis, when there's a problem, when there's an illness, they get deliberate. They get deliberate in their thoughts and their behaviors through prayer, through meditation, and simply by setting their intentions. Those of you who have taken absolute abundance with me know it is a crucial part of what we say. Every day we get up and set our intentions. Well, when I read that again, I have to tell you that for those 3 weeks, I was not waking up setting an intention. I had let, not the love wash over me, but I had let the fear wash over me, and I was in my doing. But remembering that every day I can set an intention allows me to wake up on purpose, in living my purpose. People who are wholehearted get inspired to make new and different choices. So if that wasn't working for me, then I had to be different in the situation. And when I was able to be different in the situation changed for me. Right? That's the same with all of us. How many of you know that? That when you are able to shift how you're being with something, it has to shift. And the last thing that wholehearted people do is they get going. They take action. They don't sit there and just say, okay, well, I'm praying, so God's got this. You are the hands and the face and the voice and the feet of God. Get going. Say your prayers, do your meditation, set your intentions, and then take action. Be in the world in some way. The gift of imperfection, the gift of being able to be real and true and purposeful, allowed me to see this. This is Joshua without his feeding tube that he ripped out, and without his nasal trumpet, which they're experimenting for longer and longer periods of time that he can breathe without it. And so this is JD holding him this week, right? On Friday, I think this picture was taken. There's the beauty, the peace, the sweetness. On Wednesday, I will fly back on Tuesday night, and on Wednesday, he's going through surgery to do what's called a jaw distraction. So he will be intubated, he will be medicated and anesthetized again, and they will do a surgery to correct his jaw, to allow him to feed and allow him to breathe. It will be a process, and it will be unfolding. But if all goes as planned, and we're not in charge of that, he'll be back here in 3 to 4 weeks, right? And then we will continue the unfolding process. That's what I want to offer you, is that it is all an unfolding process of balance of our spiritual side and our human side, and it's not static. It is not black and white fixed. So I found this yin and yang symbol, to know that it is constantly in motion, that it's constantly moving within us and outside of us, and that how we react to it and how we move into it really is the balance, right? We think in black and white. This isn't. God is absolute. Well, if we are divine, we are wholly part of all of that. And as we evolve, as we learn, as we grow, it does. So it's messy, so it's scary, so it's vital, So it's powerful. That is the journey I've been on and that I am dedicated to sharing with you as powerfully, as simply, as truthfully, as wholly, Holy and Wholy, as I can. Right? This is our journey to know that we are spiritual beings having a human experience. And that human experience, no matter what it feels like, is good. The pain, the fear, the heartache, the love washes over us. Let's take that to our time of meditation.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am, letting fear and worry fall away from me. I open my eyes and see there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love. When I lose myself, when I feel I've lost my way, when I go inside and quiet my mind, I hear Spirit gently say, there is only love. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. There is only love.
And so as we breathe into this space of excruciatingly vulnerable, we allow ourselves to just be with whatever that discomfort might be with whatever might be arising, be present right now. Opening our heart even more. Breathing and being breathed as the love that we are, even in the midst, even when we are in the midst. There is only love. Love that heals, love that sets us free. So this moment, right now, we're just allowing ourselves to know that truth to the best of our ability, wherever we are in the midst. To know that love is right here, right now. It is in the sound of the babies crying. It is in the sound of our own tears. It is in the very beating of our heart. It is in the stillness that is available and accessible right now. So we allow ourselves to surrender into the stillness. We allow ourselves to be completely vulnerable and open ourselves to that love. And so we'll rest here together, feeling the connection that is this community present, feeling each other in the room, our shared humanity. We are lifting it up because this is our choice to lift up ourselves and others right now. So we rest together in the love. And so out of the silence, we allow ourselves to grow in love. Out of the stillness, we allow ourselves to be present in a new way to the love. Out of this stillness, we recognize wholeness. We bless our seeming imperfections. We bless and know that we are perfect just the way we are. That our lives right now are perfect. Even in the midst. So we take a breath together. And we open our hearts to that love even more. Because we know that there truly is only love.
In this moment, in this place, I remember who I am.
We are remembering to remember.
Letting fear and worry fall away from me.
Let them fall.
I open my eyes and see.
So open your eyes and look at each other.
There is only love.
Can you see it?
There is only love.
Allow it.
Love that heals, love that sets us free.
Feel the freedom. Ah.
There is only love.
And so it is. Amen. Ashe.
So we just take this time now to just connect to whatever arose during the talk, during the meditation. And now's a time as a community for us to take action. So I'd invite you to pull out your spiritual connection card. And on the back, you'll notice several spiritual practices you can choose from. Will you be willing to be vulnerable this week? Just a little bit more than you were the week before? Are you willing to share your journey with those that'll support you? Remember your spiritual truth and practice radical acceptance of what is, regardless of how it may feel. I invite everybody to just pick at least one. Make that your practice this week. Own it. Live into it. And truly transform your lives. Now, as we enter into our time of giving and receiving, in the seat pockets in front of you, there are envelopes where you can place your offering in. If you're using credit card, please print legibly so that we can give you receipts at year end for taxes. And if you're watching via live stream, you can make your offering via the Unity San Francisco website. So please feel free to do that there. On the live stream page, there is a link to make your offering. So that's where you'd want to go. Great. I'd like to invite our board member of the day up to talk a little bit more about giving and receiving.
Hi, everybody. Thanks, Robert. Hi, wow. Great to see everybody. Thank you for that nice welcome. I'm the board of the day, and many of you probably know that I was in Hong Kong with my family. Hi, sweetie. Yeah. Hi. That's Joy and Heather over there. Yes, closer for the live stream. Hi, everybody out there. So we're back, and I get to talk about manifestation as part of my time here. And so we were in Hong Kong for 2.5 months, and before we were getting there, we heard about helpers being able to, help with nannying or different things that were fairly inexpensive. And so I was looking online. There's no apps over there. There's no apps to find something, and the website was really difficult. And I only actually found about 2 potential helpers to do some part-time work for us. And so my wife and I sat down, and we had some questions that we wanted to ask, and then we also sat down on what we were looking for. And we had been there for no more than 24 hours. And let me backtrack just a little bit how difficult this is. There's actually, because there's full-time versus part-time, there's a lot of laws, and so it's very, very complex to get a part-time helper versus a full-time live-in helper. And so we were facing some pretty big challenges. And let me also say back up, this is a total first world problem compared to Ken's amazing story. So I'm very humbled. I was oh my God, I'm gonna go tell this story. Just it's a total first world problem. So anyway, so thank you, by the way, Ken, for sharing that very powerful story. But so we wrote some things down. We went through some manifestation processing, and literally we were on the ground for 24 hours. My wife's CEO, less than 24 hours, the wife's CEO calls her up and says, hey, I'm going to be in the States with my family for 2.5 months, and so would you want to hire my helper to do your part-time work? Because she's looking for some part-time. And it was oh my God, yes, let's interview her. And it literally could not have been more perfect. than the quickness and how much Joy loved Juju. Her name's Judelle, and Joy called her Juju. And it just freed us up to like really enjoy Hong Kong even more. I was able to do a couple things during the day, and then it really gave us the chance to do date night on Saturday night. Every Saturday night we had date night, which we like never get to do here. And so that was amazing. We got to go on this guy invited us to a private yacht club on a private island in Hong Kong, and it was crazy. I mean, it was crazy stories. I got 2 auditions. I only applied for 2 auditions. I got to audition. I landed 1 role on a pilot series. And, I mean, it was just crazy. Like, because of all this and because of this great helper that just we manifested, enjoyed, loved her so much that when I was like getting ready to leave or something, she'd just be like, bye-bye. I mean, she loved Juju, yeah. So anyway, I share the story because Unity has brought me so much, these principles of manifestation, and that's why I give of my time, talent, and treasure. And when I was doing some board work while I was even over there over the summer. Yeah, hi, Juju? Hi. Yeah, so anyway, I hope you find as much joy and love about this place as I do, that you would give of your time, talent, and treasure. And with that, we have a... hi, sweetie. You going to give me the lid? Thank you. Thank you. Do you want the... Here, we'll trade. You can have that. Okay? And we have an offering affirmation. If you all want to say it, repeat it after me. Divine love, as me, blesses and multiplies all that I joyously give and receive. Thank you, God. And ushers, please come forward. Thank you, Joy. She may...
When the road gets dark and you can no longer see, let my love throw a spark and have a little faith in me. And when the tears you've cried are all you can believe, just give these loving arms a try, baby, and have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me. Oh, just have a little faith in me. Just have a little faith. Have faith in me. And when your secret heart cannot speak so easily, come here, baby, from a whisper start to have a little faith in me. And when your back's against the wall, just turn around and you will see that I will catch your fall. So have a little faith in me. Just have a little faith in me. Have a little faith in me. Oh, just have a little faith in me. Have a little faith. Have faith in me. loving you for such a long, long time, expecting nothing in return, just for you to have a little faith in me. You see, time is our friend, 'cause for us there is no end. All you gotta do is have a little faith in me. I will hold you up, I will hold you up, and your love gives me strength enough to have a little faith in me. Oh, faith, oh, darling, have a little faith in me. Faith.
And our fabulous band, Michael Grossman, Andrea Higgins, Damon Ho. Woohoo! Oh, so yeah, guys, remember last week we talked about live streaming, and we talked about the fact that we had this fabulous matching grant from the Templeton Foundation. Can you click it? Yeah. And they gave us, if we spent $12,500, which we have spent more than that on the live streaming, but if we spent at least that much, they would match $6,250 of it. And we put out a call to the community that you guys match their match, right? So what we managed in 6 minutes, 6 minutes, folks, we raised $7,005. Woo! This is our year of manifestation. So if anyone feels called to continue to additionally support the live streaming, please feel free to do so. All the online people, if you love it, give to support it. So I'm going to invite the kids on up here. Come on up here, you guys.
This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This bright light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. All around the world, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
No, I got it. I know. Sorry. I don't want to eat the mic, but we did an abstract painting that is supposed to identify a diversity. Right?
All right, so we have a blessing that we do for our children. We do it for the children that we are. We do it for the children that are present here. We do it for the children that are in NICU units all around the world. We do it for the children everywhere that are in need of remembering to remember. So let us open our hearts, open our hands as we say together, "You are God's perfect child. We love you exactly the way you are." And so it is. So thank you to everybody who made service possible today. They're so happy when they get to play together. Please pray with the prayer chaplain after service. We got a lot of them here today because we're meeting as well. Next week, we have Reverend Ken's radio show. Yes. It's on Tuesday morning at 9 a.m. Reverend Elizabeth's Meditation and Healing Circle on Wednesday night at 7 p.m. Dave Cooperberg is in week 3 of Finding Yourself in Transition. You can talk to him about his class, which is still going on and open Thursdays at 7 p.m. So I'm going to invite us to join hands and rise as we're willing and able for True Colors.
You with the sad eyes, don't be discouraged, oh, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all. Darkness around you makes you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors
are beautiful, like a rainbow. Show me a smile and don't be unhappy. Don't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you're taking all you can bear, just call me up, because you know I'll be there. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Now it's time for our transformational affirmations. I'll say these statements once and invite you to affirm them after me. I am willing to share my journey.
I am willing to share my journey.
I am willing to be excruciatingly vulnerable.
I am willing to be excruciatingly vulnerable.
I am a spiritual being.
I am a spiritual being.
And I am whole.
I am whole.
And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. True colors are beautiful, like a rainbow.
Give thanks for this day and for each other. And so it is.